Hello, and welcome to episode 46 of I'm Fine, a chat between myself, Damo, and someone who doesn't find poo, bottoms, or farts remotely funny. Someone I used to call my friend, Mark.
No, still don't.
No, you will by the end of this. So, this is a chat around the subjects of health, wealth, well-being, fitness, sport, life choices, and just how cruel this world is and unjust, and how we're going to do absolutely nothing about making it right. Well, I'm not. You are. Single-handedly.
No, I might be a bit more, like I just mentioned to you, the old radical acceptance might be kicking in now. So
we're just going to accept how shit everything is and bin it off.
Stop moaning.
We're all work in progress, and this podcast is no exception. In short, it's a poke at our perfectly imperfect lives, and if we can make just one person feel like they're not alone in all this madness, then our work here is done.
I did have a little bit of feedback from someone who'd listened to 3 in a row and goes, the intros are getting a bit boring.
Who said that?
I'm not saying.
They can fuck right off.
No, that's got fair. Oh, well, I've said the same thing.
What? Which bit? The bit about that, or just my intro?
Well, you've cut it down every time.
Cut it down. I've literally gone to a link.
Yeah, okay, I think links
This is not going in. The bit about my intro has been boring, Mike. That's just rude. Coming up in this episode, which I think you trailed as High Bants and Japes, didn't you?
Yeah.
From memory?
Mm.
Better be. I mean, no pressure. That's literally what I've got written here. Coming up, High Bants and Japes.
Well, I've got a big red nose and oversized shoes on.
The clown outfit was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah. Don't smell this flower on my lapel.
That's what you tell all the other boys and girls, isn't it?
Didn't know where you're going to go with that.
No, I don't know where I'm going to go with it.
In fact, I am in a slightly difficult position. So,
right,
have you finished? Do your intro then, and then we'll get that out of the way.
Well, no, that's kind of it. Where coming up is just we have our usual work-life ballet and brain food sections. So yeah, it's got a little bit of a blank canvas. That's all right. It's good. That's how we roll, isn't it?
So
go on then. When you're after you, go on.
Have you got more to say?
No. Well, okay. Yes. This will be a very short episode.
It's just my monologue for 57 minutes.
What would you like to say?
The world according to Mark. So, and this is about smiles. One of the things that I'm really, really keen about, and I know Amelia is because I saw a post from her the other day, is the value of taking photographs in terms of body shape change or muscle build.
Okay, yeah.
And
she did do.
Have you seen her video?
How it started.
Yes.
How it's going.
Yeah.
That one?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
It is good.
Yeah.
I mean, the first
talk about transformation.
The first picture of her bottom, she just doesn't even have a bottom, does she?
No, I don't feel like we need to be commenting on
your
daughter's
you
bottom.
wanted bottom jokes.
Bottom jokes and talking about your daughter's bottom are very different things.
What's happened is I think the video was exactly that. This is how it started and this is where she's at. And she looks phenomenal.
But it's one of those, that's the beauty of those transformations. You think, I forgot she even looked like, well, I didn't even know she did because I didn't know her when she looked like that. But you're like, crikey, that's some going.
And I think for me as a PT, that takes the inspiration beyond I've lost a stone or I can bench press a bit more. Because I was speaking to somebody today, and this is where yesterday, and this is where this conversation came from, and said, if you don't take photographs, 6 months down the line, you go, I wish I'd taken photographs.
Yeah.
But I think the mindset is, I don't want to take photographs because I don't like looking at my body.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah. So it's almost like you've got to bite the bullet and accept that's how you look.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, have that as your... What happened was a client sent a photograph to me. The other thing that I also use is inspiration pictures, because one of the things I don't like about Instagram and influencers is firstly the falseness of a lot of the photographs. And
there's plenty of people debunking those, aren't they? You know, people who go in, here's my body, but if I sit like this, it looks like I'm... And
I think that is so positive.
Yes,
I saw a couple this week and I just thought that is so, I don't know, empowering really.
Yeah.
I said to this person, firstly, take photographs of yourself so we've got before and after, but secondly, what's your inspiration? Because if you can't visualize where you want to be, if you just go,
that's good.
I want to be bigger, what does that physically look like? How do you know when you've reached the end of that journey? The person sent a photograph, 3 photographs of someone to me, the same person, and said, would there be any chance that I can get to anything like this? And I went, nope.
Right.
That was my...
Right.
Okay, maybe a quick response.
Did you say did you let them down gently?
I just did nope and left it.
Oh, you went, right, great.
Yeah.
Did you go back and do better next time? No, come on, let's be realistic.
An hour later, I said, what you need to know, that guy's been on steroids. That guy is totally shredded for that photograph, so hasn't been drinking water for 36 hours, has been taking diuretics.
Yeah.
The steroids aside, he does have a genetic predisposition to looking like that.
Yeah.
because you can only build muscle on the frame you've got.
Yeah, with you. Yeah, yeah.
And that's something also that when we've done work with women, it'd be like, oh, what can I do about my hips? Well, your bone structure, your hips are where they are.
Yeah, and also your proportions as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know, you might be a bit torso-y, a bit leggy.
Yeah.
You know,
so you can build on that frame, but the inherent frame is
Yeah,
still there.
sure.
And the point I was making is, no, don't be unrealistic. He's like an Adonis and he's a model. It's a big ask. So I sent a photograph of my target. So I have a person who I feel has the body that I'm striving for.
Oh.
And instead of sending it to the one person, I sent it to our coaches lads group.
Did you?
With the saying, this is my target.
Hold on. What, just randomly? This is what I want to look like?
I was trying to share it with a client to go...
Have you sent it accidentally to them?
Yeah.
Oh, you muppet.
So I was trying to be realistic. So what I was saying to this guy is, if I was striving for something...
this is what I look like.
This guy is my...
So I've got two questions. First of all...
What does he look like?
Yeah, what was it?
So that's the guy.
Yeah, I think I've seen him on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's about my height.
Yeah.
He's within about 35 years of my...
Yeah, I reckon you
He's
probably got
stunningly good look.
You got a pair of pants like that, haven't you?
Yeah,
I reckon.
Oh, my protein. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that shake
They
there's
came
my
free with that.
protein.
Yeah, they came free with that shake. Yeah.
So near enough.
I mean,
there.
yeah, practically there.
So that is probably more realistic than the...
So, right. You sent it to the football coaches. How many on the group?
7, I think, and put my target.
Right, just totally out of the blue. When was the last time you sent anything to them? I mean, was this off the back of other messages, or they'd not heard from you for like 3 weeks? And
no,
you just sent
it's
that
not on
through?
the back. No, this is random. I don't think I posted
Did
anything.
you leave it, or did what?
No, I deleted it straight away.
Oh, did
but
you?
one person got there,
and saw it.
and he said, "I wish this was visual. We need to do this on YouTube. It is on YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah, but not
visual.
No.
Yeah. So he put, "This is my target."
Right. So it's a bloke holding a massive carp.
Yeah.
Like a huge.
Yeah. He obviously got...
So obviously, because you've now removed it,
I removed mine.
Someone looks really as random as you did, sending a picture of
I've
someone holding a
mine,
massive fish.
and so someone else in the group has gone the bloke or the fish.
Oh,
so I've sort of
confusion.
rescued myself and got someone else to bear the brunt. But
Nice one.
I don't know where that was going. We started off on something.
Well, I didn't think it was going to be funny, so I was happy about that.
Okay. But no,
very
it is.
funny.
I think it's probably just the...
That actually wasn't the bit you were going to talk about. The fact you sent it to a group by mistake.
We were talking about
You were just
body
talking about
positivity.
Yeah, you were.
and stuff.
Well, yeah, just the Amelia's transformation
Okay,
photos.
so takeaway here:
Right.
take photographs of you when you start the journey, and then keep taking it in the same position, wearing the same clothes.
Yeah.
Not every week or every fortnight.
That is the thing about transformation. You know, it's like they do on the TV shows when they're doing the before and afters of an interior. It's all dingy. They put the vignette on it.
Yeah.
So they just take all this, saturate it, and make it look, Dickensian.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh, they turn a light on,
And also
and put it in colour, and everyone goes, oh my god.
But quite often the person's face has lost 20 years, not through any weight loss. Just they've become more attractive, haven't they?
Yeah.
So Amelia's was very, very positive. And so the takeaways here is, even if you don't want to, and if you're in lockdown and thinking, when this finishes, I'm going to go for it, take your photograph now as your reminder.
Yeah, and that's good.
So that's number one. And the second one, which less PTs use, is know where that journey, know when you've reached somewhere along that journey. So if you have a photograph...
Now that is important, because it could never, you could get obsessive, couldn't you? You could never stop. You just keep going.
You'll never be happy.
I mean, you've seen some of the people, only because the people we follow through the podcast, there's some odd looking chat. I mean, that's, our judgment is our next episode.
Yeah.
But there are some that just, don't look anywhere near natural.
Oh, the picture.
There's just some what people are doing to their bodies, just in terms of muscle mass. And,
I think the worst thing is the thing that's happening in Russia with those biceps.
Yeah, that doesn't. I thought they were fake videos.
No,
Is that real?
They're real.
It's
a
terrifying.
steroid or some drug.
Right.
Yeah, that just basically makes their biceps look almost like an udder, isn't it?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it is bad.
I started taking photos when I started working. I just haven't done any recently, but I've never shared them with you.
No.
But sorry, you don't have to share them with anyone. I guess
No.
the point. I think sometimes it's just good to look at them, not share them, and just get a feel for where you are.
Yeah. And the third one, there is one last one with one other client at the moment. One of the things that was happening on the course at the moment, it's really interesting. We have homework, and for whatever reason, when we're feeding back on our homework, every single person goes, I actually haven't written this down, but I'll just say it from the top of my head. None of us write it down. It's like a common theme. It's like, but I know what I'm going to say. So, and this is very much my character, isn't it? It's like I've done the research. Occasionally, it's a big deal when I've printed something off, but quite often it's up in my head. And so for this one particular client, I've been using some things from the course, and one of them was that having something written down or something, hearing something is obviously much better in terms of learning. It's a learning skill, isn't it? It's that bit around if someone tells you something, you remember X amount. If they write it down, you remember X. Do you know this? And then if they show you, you remember even more.
I guess the difference between like academics and some people just read a book and go, it's in and stuck.
Yeah.
And some people have to physically enact that for it to stick.
Yeah. And so for this particular person, what I've been saying to them is that firstly, actually physically look in the mirror at the gains you're making, and because they have an objective in terms of, weight loss and, putting on muscle. So firstly, look so that you can actually and it is quite a strange thing that we're having to say to people, actually physically look at yourself in the mirror.
Well,
it's a strange thing,
kind of
isn't it?
Listen, understand, and
but people don't generally, do they?
Yeah. So listening and understanding your body, what we talk about, the themes on this pod, we don't say the word look.
No.
We say kind of listen and understand, don't we?
But
looking is a massive part.
Yeah. And when I say people don't do it, sweeping generalization, I would say in my experience, a lot of people, when you say to them, stand naked in front of a mirror and have a look at, the progress you've made, it's like, no.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's an even split. I don't know, but I think there's lots of people who go, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I certainly don't want to take a photo.
Yeah. So what
because also you then start to get into you manipulate that photo because it's not what you want. Even if especially if you're at the beginning of a journey or part of the way through, you haven't hit your target. Even any of those stages until you're comfortable is a very difficult thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what you want it because you want it to be better.
You want the lighting to be good. And yeah. But the other thing that I've said to this individual, which I'm hoping is going to be really positive, is say out loud what you feel positive about. And again, it isn't a common thing for people to look in the mirror and go, actually,
Well, Mel Robbins does the high five in the mirror.
Okay.
She asks people to, I guess, affirm and go and talk out loud and give yourself a high five in the mirror. It might sound crazy to some people, but similar kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Whatever works, right?
Got it.
Self-love. How are you? That was 15 minutes in.
Course was tricky. Course was tricky today, as I do offload to you, don't I?
I like it.
Two steps in the door. Yeah.
I was thinking about it's a Saturday as well. I mean, it's not, don't know why that shouldn't be the day you go and do these kind of courses on yourself. But is that more difficult on a weekend?
I guess there's a weekend vibe to a degree. More so for the people on the course that have been...
Are you a bit more...
Saturday lunchtime,
Do you feel you need to split these things up?
I'm not able to work because of lockdown, so any day's the same day today. And secondly, my workouts are so regular now, so after this pod I'll go and do a gym session. So I suppose it doesn't feel like a different day particularly. It does in some elements, but it is a good point. I think if it was life was different, I think maybe doing it on a Saturday would have a different vibe.
Yeah. We went down a bit of a rabbit hole, didn't we?
Yeah.
Last step.
Yeah. How much did you have to cut out last time?
But why?
No, it just felt
that was a lot.
I went. I think I went. I texted you afterwards and went, "Good luck with that shit."
Yeah, it's one of those things where it feels like something. If you're writing a long bit of copy and you go back over it, you chop the extraneous stuff off, and you still don't lose the sentiment or the messaging. Or it feels very rarely I cut anything out that just takes the whole point. I mean, occasionally there'll be something like if I take that out. It doesn't make sense, and there's no context for the thing that goes before and after. But
I think it wasn't a rant though, which is I think what.
No, it just had
went
a lot
down
to
deeper
say.
And deeper.
Yeah, and I was dead in my arse on that again.
Yeah,
I was saying to you, wasn't I sounded drunk on it. It was really hard to listen back to me.
Yeah,
really hard.
No
one probably noticed, but
no.
I guess when you got in headphones and you're turning up and you're editing, you have that level of detail.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you all right? You all right, hun? Yeah, because things took a turn around 42 minutes, I felt.
Okay. And what happened at 42 minutes?
I got a little bit of a reflection on it.
Okay.
So I was using lifestyle design as a jumping off point, and like everything that comes out of my mouth is from a position of privilege.
Yes.
I think because it tweaked your moral judgment, and there'll be more judgment in the next episode. I keep saying that, but about your moral judgment around inequality, lack of privilege, and lack of opportunity for some, or for a lot, for many. You quite rightly challenged it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready for it, I think.
And you were tired.
But so there's a bit of all those things. So it's good. And then you're like, we're down a track which probably needs some thought, some retrospection, some, you know what I mean? And then so you can come back and have another run at it. And it felt like I think it's where we got to, I think it was a really interesting discussion. And it can be quite sensitive, how we approach that and how our views come out. Yeah. And also, like I said, if you can have that time for retrospection and think around it and come back and, and this feels like an old-fashioned, what did you say?
Conversation in a snug.
Yeah, that's what they used to call in the olden days a conversation. I think that's what it is, to have that time to go away, formulate your thoughts, come back and have a discussion. Yeah.
Again, I know I speak in generalizations, but I think there is a degree of lost art because Zoom by its very nature becomes a scattergun approach. Yeah. You can't have the nuances, you can't have the emotions.
No. Everything's got a stop clock on it as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think it's a really interesting discussion, and I guess my stance, having reflected on it, is that although privilege gives you an amazing head start, and the caveat here being that if we're saying that success is judged by a better education, better career options, more wealth generation, increased quality of life with understanding and means to a better mental and physical health, that's the caveat of what success could look like.
I'm just suddenly remembering, did you cut out your fisherman story?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I've got that coming up in my bookmark.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Yeah, I did.
It was a good story.
Yeah.
Just resonates with what you're saying.
Yeah, it was kind of a little bit too long. So, so you get an amazing head start with access to education, healthcare, support, encouragement, opportunity, etc. But my point was mindset being a really strong point about this. And that combined with a leveling of technology-based information services and tools. Again, not everyone on this planet has access to those things. No. There's a massive divide in accessing those things for many developing countries. But I think the playing fields are being leveled. Okay, that's where I was coming from. Yeah. It doesn't mean that you're actually bang on with that. There's loads of people who are just stuck in a rut, haven't got the opportunity, haven't got the right building blocks in place. But my point was, hopefully you'd like to think that all the advancements in just in tech and attitudes and information, just help people to kind of have a crack at something.
Yeah,
at least give people the shot. And you're right. My next point was I didn't have the time for my fisherman story. So the idea is that a tourist was at a harbour, was on holiday, and he sees this fisherman lazing on the harbour in the sunshine. And he went up to him and said, how many fish have you caught today? He said, I just caught a couple this morning. And he said, well, why don't you go out a few more times during the day? Then you can catch more fish, and then you can eat some, and then you can sell some. And if you kept doing that, you can then go and buy a boat because you'll have enough money to go and buy a boat, and then you can catch more fish. Then you can hire people to come and help you and maybe get more boats and catch more fish. And then maybe one day you can get a fish market and start selling all your fish and make even more money and then employ more people. And then the fisherman turned around and said, then what would I do? And the tourist went, well, you wouldn't have any care in the world and you can just sit on the harbour in the sunshine. And he went, that's what I'm doing. And I haven't had to wait 25 years to do it. It's quite a simple one, but I think that kind of says quite a lot about what we're all trying to do in terms of, are you doing something you love doing? Why are you doing it? Yeah. Are you chasing the buck? Why are you chasing the buck? Why are you working 40 years to then retire? Yeah. When you could actually do that now.
I also had some retrospective thoughts about, and I think sometimes maybe about every 1 in 8 podcasts, I just have a cold shiver and go, oh, it's not very good. And I text you instantly, don't I? It's like, destroy it all. I'll come round about 3 in the morning. We'll do another one.
Again.
I was still up at 3, so I could have done one. The point that was going through my mind was that so much of what we're able to comment on in life is what we've experienced. And I think that's more valuable than what we've read. I think what we've actually experienced becomes, it has a depth to it. And there were 2 very, very different things. One of the things when I was thinking about my feelings regard privilege, not so much privilege, because I think that's overused at the moment, but more opportunity, is when we used to foster. We fostered two beautiful girls for about 3 or 4 years, I think. And they were 2 of 17. So not all complete brothers and sisters, but the family group. So their father had 17 children. And I think there was an element of working with them. And we had a great time with them and they made fantastic progress. But one of the things, when I actually did read some research on this, was that the ability to change children in care, change as in improve their life chances and their overall almost susceptibility to new ideas, goes down very, very quickly after the age of 7. Right. And what happened with these 2 children is that they had a completely different lifestyle with us than they had in the past, but it wasn't enough. Wow. And they went back to type in a degree.
Okay, I see.
Now not a comment on them. They're beautiful. We still keep in touch with one of them, and not a comment on them. But it was almost that everything that they had subsumed in their learning
to
years.
that point, in the most impressionable years.
Yeah. So in their most formative and impressionable years, that had a disproportionate effect. That although they were having opportunities,
I get that. But again, that is just one. I guess back to my point. People can change.
100%. Not
give it another year. Who knows, etc.
Yeah. So, but you're up against almost invisible forces.
Yeah,
that's the point I'm saying.
And it's not necessarily damage is done, but there's a loss. Depending what consequences. Have come out of that.
A lot of those early foundations have been laid in a very quick setting, cement. So that was one. That was on a micro level. And then on a macro level, there's a guy I follow on Insta and on Twitter called Yasher Ali. I have mentioned him once or twice before. I agree with about half of what he says and disagree with about probably a half.
I was going to say, how are you going to break up the other 50%?
You do the math. Yeah. And half of it, half I agree, half I disagree, and half I'm in the middle about it.
Yeah.
I hate his math. So he was just talking something about some data that had come out from one of the latest vaccines in America, and it's on Johnson & Johnson.
Oh, yeah, I've heard,
And that it's only now one injection and blah, blah, blah,
right.
blah. When I saw the Johnson & Johnson data last night, the first thing I thought, because my brain is broken, was some Americans are going to trash this on Twitter.
Right.
One shot and it prevents hospitalization. Stick it in my arm right now. I'll wait in line. But there's a more important point. And I think what he was saying is as soon as something comes on, the trolls come in and go, but.
Yeah.
So the second thing he said, it doesn't require super cold storage like Pfizer. So this is a boon for developing countries. This is not to suggest that people in developing countries deserve a less effective vaccine. This is about logistics. And this suddenly opened my eyes because there's lots in about the EU not letting us have stuff and that. And should we be sharing it with Africa? And no, we're going to keep it all for ourselves, blah, blah, blah. So he said, if you look at the Democratic Republic of Congo, and he spent some time there, so there's a point to this.
Pretty much the next episode, but go on.
Seriously?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Do you even know
about Eritrea and DRC, yeah.
Well, you might not know this particular bit.
Go on. It might be good.
Looking at the Democratic Republic of Congo, it has a country of 1,800 miles of paved road. 1,800 miles. And it's the 11th largest country by size in the world. Saudi Arabia.
89 million. I think it's 89 million population of DRC.
And so 1,800 miles of paved road.
Yeah.
By comparison, Saudi Arabia, obviously tiny in comparison, has 45,000 miles of paved road.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about a vaccine which doesn't require super, super cold and only requires one shot, this is a big deal for countries like Congo.
Absolutely it is, yeah.
And then he goes on to show some pictures and
of course,
some maps.
But all that trolling instantly comes from you are born in a country, a high-income country, which we'll definitely come on to on the next one. You can't knock anyone for having that view because that is their only view.
Yes.
However, like we always talk about, there's a wider, more global discussion, isn't there?
Yeah.
About things, especially about things like
and
this.
And that globalization is how he finishes. So what you said there is really good. He said, I know as Americans we tend to focus on ourselves. Yeah. But this pandemic isn't going to be over until we have widespread vaccination across the globe.
Yes.
Americans being vaccinated isn't enough to lower our guard completely.
Yeah.
And he said, if I can get you to care about people in the DRC, perhaps you'll look at this selfishly. The faster people in countries like DRC get vaccinated, the faster you can go on your vacations and the faster you can lower your guard here in the USA.
Yeah, correct.
And that, I think, for me, summed up perspectives.
Yep.
Because my first thought is, maybe it is only 86%, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that. But instead, it's
such a narrow view, isn't it?
Yeah.
That we all have by default.
Yes.
Unless you know to look a little bit wider.
But that's inspired me.
You've got a narrow view. Yeah. Have I? Why? Because of that? Oh Christ, I haven't I?
Yeah. But when he said it's the logistics, and it is.
Yeah.
It isn't anything about the efficiency or the efficacy or who should have it first. It's about.
But no, you're right.
It's all to do with that.
It is, yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you've only got a few paved roads,
absolutely you can't.
This is better.
Mm-hmm. No, it's good. It's a nice tea for the next one.
I didn't know we were going to. We do.
It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's perfect, in fact. No, I think it's a perfect tie-in.
Good, thank you.
Let's say thank you like you knew.
Did you like no, I didn't. Did you like the photograph I sent you today?
Of the cat?
Yeah. No, you didn't.
The cat, what?
Did you read it?
There's a cat one.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think what it was.
You
There's a
wanted-
fat cat on a bed.
Yeah, but
Was there not? Hold on.
read it.
Don't. What?
You wanted cat gifts. I haven't sent them for a while.
Fuck's sake, hold on. Wait, I'm busy. I've been writing these
I've been busy.
fucking
I've been
things
watching
all morning.
I've spent the last
We-
14 hours of my life
have
looking
three-
for funny memes.
We have
to
3
sum up my
channels. I
mental
don't know
health.
where you sent it. Oh, right. There's a fat cat on a bed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Really, really fat.
Yeah.
And it says, "Someone, how are you?" And he goes, "Me, yes."
yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Well, that was the joke, the standing joke.
Yeah, no, it
For
was.
2 podcasts.
And I went morning with a laughing face on it. What else do you want? God damn.
Tough crowd.
The
The comedy special's going
I'm also. It is. We need to pick this up. Did we actually get to the bottom of your Venezuelan hemorrhoids? Did we? Because I think I might have just been taking the piss as I usually am. And I don't think you quite got to the point of why you don't find toilet humour funny. We just ended up talking about eels and gummy snakes coming out your bottom, which was most unsavoury.
I wasn't.
I don't think I'll ever eat a gummy snake again, to be honest. Are you sure you didn't get worms over there? You might have had a worm, you might have a parasite.
I don't know. I don't think it's that important.
Well, no, not now. If it was ages
No.
ago, I'm sure it's gone.
I can.
But I don't think we got to the reason why you don't find it funny. You just don't find it funny.
I can tell you the reason.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Okay, so 2 reasons. The school I went to, my father went to the same school.
Yeah.
So one of the things that used to happen at that school in my dad's time was if you farted in school,
Right.
in class.
If it was audible, or
yes,
if it was just...
and if it was pinned to you,
Okay, right.
you were told to go outside and shake yourself.
Shake yourself?
It was like a demand that you had to leave the classroom, go into the corridor and somehow
And shake yourself?
shake yourself. So
What's the point? Sorry, what's the point of
I
shake?
don't know. It was
Oh,
just the
God.
thing in the school. So growing up with that,
Talking about being influenced in your most impressionable years, right? This has literally affected
Yeah.
your life.
farting is not natural.
I don't want to fart because I've got to go outside and shake myself.
And also,
right
if you're
after.
there in the corridor shaking, basically twerking. It's like
Did you actually go out and shake? You just stand there and go,
it,
oh,
it
God.
happened less in my time. It's more in my dad's. In my time, you were just beaten, so that was fine.
Really?
not just for farting, for anything really. But so that's number one. And number two, I
So
wasn't
glad I asked.
I wasn't going to share this one. I wasn't going to share this, but I'm going to.
Okay, go on.
We might cut it
Let's
out.
just see. You've already said the 2 things, so you're going to have to follow through. I want to see. You are laughing. You're finding that funny.
No,
You
it's
are-
a sympathy laugh. So this is in reference to my mum, R.I.P.
Yeah, God bless her. All right.
She was fairly precise as an individual
Uh-huh.
and had very, very set routines and set ways. And some of these were positive and have helped me in life. Sure. And some of them, in retrospect, were slightly wide of the mark. And sometimes I would drop them into conversation, and people would just go, "You're having a fucking laugh." And I go, no, surely everyone does this.
Oh, right, okay.
So one of the situation was when I was old enough to go to the toilet by myself, I was given a short lecture by my mother about how to go to the toilet. And
I'm giggling already. Go on. I can't look at you.
Basically, what she said was, you didn't want to hit the water.
Right.
So when you're peeing,
Yeah.
don't hit the water.
Because it makes a noise and it
Because my
splashes.
mother, no, not because
Oh,
the
'cause you can
splash.
hear it.
She didn't like the noise. She found that
Yeah.
offensive.
Yeah, okay. All right.
As a young boy, especially in my teenage years,
Yeah.
trying to control that bad boy to the sides is like...
Hold on, bad boy. That's just too
I'm
much
jumping
detail.
ahead. Okay, so moving into my
It's
teenage
hardly
years...
kind of a fireman wrestling his fire by the hose, is it? Or is it on full tilt? Literally, you're flying around the bathroom.
That's part of the comedy clown, isn't it? When they have those fire engines that fall apart with the hose that goes everywhere.
Sorry, you're controlling the... Okay.
So basically, when I went for a pee,
It's a thing.
it was a
It was-
thing.
it was- and you
and
gotta be
that
quiet.
probably is a
Okay.
fairly restrictive thing.
Is it the same for the for twos or not? Or is that...
I think that's impossible, isn't it?
What, not to...
To miss the water. What did you mean?
Yeah,
noise?
that. I just thought that was just a general don't
Oh,
make a noise when you go to the
No,
toilet.
we had one of those foam fire extinguishers that we'd put down first to soften the blow. Yeah. Well, I think most families do.
A catcher, poo catcher. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Called Colin, actually. That's a coincidence. We were
What was
well
called
to
Colin?
our poo catcher.
Right, yeah.
We were
You're a
well-to-do
wealthy
family.
Yeah, that's right. So I guess that's just
Yeah, I think toilet humour was almost basically banned.
yeah. Okay. White Lines.
Mm.
I know this song,
Mm.
but when you said it, I couldn't hear it in my head.
Okay.
It's a great song, isn't it?
Yes.
Released in 1983 on Sugar Hill Records, the record was credited to Grandmaster and Mel Mel.
Mm.
The song, which warns against the dangers of cocaine addiction and drug smuggling, peaked at 47 on the Billboard Hot Black Singles chart in 1983, and the song fared better in the United Kingdom, reaching number 7 on the UK Singles chart in July 1984.
Strange, it didn't do better in America, didn't it?
It spent 17 consecutive weeks in the top 40. It was the 13th best-selling single of 1984 in the UK, selling more than several number one hits of that year.
Mm.
Something I thought was interesting. I bet you didn't know this. The lines, "A businessman is caught with 24 kilos. He's out on bail, out on jail, and that's the way it goes," refers to who? Do you know?
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
John DeLorean.
Yeah.
Right, I didn't know this.
Goldwing cars.
Yeah, the maker of
Yeah.
the DeLorean. We haven't seen Back to the Future. That car's in that film.
Okay. Built in Ireland, wasn't it? DeLorean.
It might be.
Got a feeling.
Solid with steel, wasn't it? Stainless steel, wasn't it?
Mm.
That was a good idea. In 1982, became entrapped in a scheme to save his company from bankruptcy, which I do know the story of, using drug money, which I didn't know.
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. Some of the lyrics in White Lines, something like a phenomenon, echoed lyrics from the song Cavern by Liquid Liquid, slip in and out of phenomenon, from which the famous bass line was borrowed.
But it was banned by the BBC, was it? Did you have that in your...
No, I haven't got that in there.
Oh, right.
No, I
Oh,
haven't
maybe
found
that's-
anything there. But I was going to run through some of the lyrics.
Okay.
Ticket to ride, White Line Highway, tell all your friends they can go my way, pay your toll, sell your soul, pound for pound, cost more than gold. Looks like you're not going to join in here. I
No.
might need some help in a minute.
I was just thinking I'm basically in the Bronx.
The longer you stay, the more you pay. My white lines go a long way, either up your nose or through your vein, with nothing to gain except killing your brain. Freeze. Come on. Rock. No, you're not. You're so fucking miserable. Honestly, can you join in?
You're the musician.
I literally did this whole thing thinking he's gonna go freeze. Rock. You're not gonna
Get
do
higher,
it.
baby.
You're embarrassed, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at vaudeville.
This spontaneous, organised fun. No, rubbish, but spontaneous fun. Okay. Again, like you said, tough crowd. That was much better in my head.
No, it worked. I
Okay.
think my lack of joining in actually
I
added
thought
to it.
if I've got to give it something, otherwise he's not going to go with me.
I can't believe back in the day I used to stand in front of like hundreds of people and talk. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Oh, in your jobs?
Yeah.
Or are you going to tell us about you used to be a dictator of the DRC or something? I don't know.
Yeah. A small African republic. Happy days.
Right. Should we move on? So what do you find funny, Mark? Do you find anything funny? I've just sang a song.
I found that.
You didn't find it funny, you just found it really awkward.
Yeah, I did find that awkward.
Yeah.
But don't they say with children, like babies?
I'm sorry.
No, don't they say?
I'm trying to be a grown up here.
Don't they say? I might have got this completely wrong. I think that they say when babies laugh,
Yeah.
it's a reaction to fear in their early formative years. So if you
Right.
chuck a child up in the air,
I thought you were a responsible father.
my
I
brother-in-law
know you
did
got
that with one of my daughters once through it, and he had a fan in his
Oh no,
ceiling.
no.
But it wasn't like the fan was fine. But no, I think pretty certain that's a thing that for in formative years, the laugh is a response to fear. It's almost a relief.
Yeah.
And I went to see Jimmy Carr back in the day when Jimmy Carr used to be funny, and he decided to tell the world's like cruelest, meanest joke,
Right.
and it was about a half-hour prelude into this.
Yeah.
And he did say something that, to all intents and purposes, was abhorrent.
Yeah.
It was funny and it was clever, but that if you broke it down into bits, which was
Horrible.
exactly his point, and
Yeah.
I think that's
It was
very
it
much
was
Ricky
kind of
Gervais.
Comfort zone, isn't it? And
Yeah.
challenging that.
Yeah.
Humour can be dissected as a frog can, E.B. White wrote, but the thing dies in the process and the innards are discouraging to any but the purely scientific mind. True to form, philosophers, scientists, and certain left-brained comedians have been scrutinizing humans' innards for centuries, seeking a serious understanding of what makes things funny. According to one scholarly definition, something is humorous if people cognitively appraise it as funny, if it creates the positive emotion of amusement, or if it produces laughter. But while the average adult laughs 18 times a day, not you.
Well, you must do 35 then.
Yeah, to make
even
up for
us
yours. Yeah.
I do once. I do laugh every morning when I get up and think,
What?
another fucking day to get through.
What a joke this is.
Yeah. Insert laugh here.
Yeah. Laughter isn't a reliable indicator. Researchers found that only 10 to 20% of remarks that prompted laughter were to be remotely funny.
Yeah, get that totally.
One general theory put forth by Plato, Aristotle, Hobbes, Descartes?
Descartes.
Huh?
Descartes.
Oh, is it Descartes?
Mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry, you've read him, haven't you?
A
Stream.
stream.
And Baudelaire holds that we are amused when we are made to feel superior to others. Freud, for his part, suggested that forbidden things are hilarious because humour is a pressure valve for regressive psychic energy. Yet another approach pioneered by Kant and Schopenhauer and affirmed by Henny Youngman, this is all very highbrow, isn't it? Sees humour arising from incongruity.
Yeah.
When conventions are undermined by an absurd situation, we're tickled.
Yeah. See, I can relate to that more than the slapstick, laugh out loud type humour. We mentioned harlequins a little while ago, didn't we? Harlequins and clowns scare me. The idea of, I think it's almost a bit like New Year's Eve, isn't it? If someone has to dress up and shake bells, like in Rent a Ghost.
Claypole,
yeah.
Well,
I
something
think
we've both seen.
Yeah. Rent a
That
Ghost.
never happens, does
No.
it?
No.
So-
I think it's if you have to make the effort of having accoutrements, yeah, props, then that undermines the humour because it's hard to be spontaneous if you have to get dressed up, paint your face, and then have a car horn going.
Yeah. Why does humour exist in the first place? In Sex, Aggression and Humour, Responses to Unicycling. Talking about that, one of the greatest titles ever to come out of academia. A British researcher proposed that humour may be a byproduct of male hormonal aggression, a hypothesis inspired by the overwhelming percentage of men who mocked him while he was out riding his unicycle. Women were much more supportive. A more sweeping theory persists that humour is an evolutionary adaptation that has promoted human survival by rewarding our relatively feeble minds for distinguishing true from false, right from wrong, and harmless from dangerous over countless harrowing and deeply confusing centuries.
Which goes back to Jimmy Carr's joke, doesn't it? I guess where you're saying there about harrowing experiences.
Yeah, and it's also, I guess, your moral code, isn't it? What you feel is right and wrong.
Yeah.
Taboos, which is kind of Freud's thing, isn't it? Things you shouldn't talk about if they're to do with sex or...
Yeah. Just interrupt, just for once.
Please do.
So on Instagram, I follow someone called Pulp Brother, and he does a massive number of paintings, and I adore them. Absolutely, Pulp Brother, if anyone wants to have a look. And he's done one I was going to send you today, which has a black and white cat in a litter tray, which I thought would tickle your fancy.
What was he doing? We're just having a shit. I mean...
Yes, there's no words on this one. He does funny ones.
So you're getting me wrong, right? Someone taking a shit isn't inherently...
It needs some context.
Isn't inherently funny.
Oh, I didn't do it for that reason,
actually.
actually.
Someone doing it in the back garden would probably make me laugh, right?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is just what we're talking about. It's about context and,
But not a cat in your back garden.
I mean, I must admit,
Or a
my
clown.
cat goes...
Maybe a neighbour. That would...
What, taking a shit in my garden?
Yeah.
It would get some kind of engagement from me. Probably not a laugh, but
so
anyway.
I got very into Instagram last night for a whole number of reasons. Doesn't matter why. So Pulp Brother, I wrote to him and I said, I'd just like to thank you for the joy your paintings have given me. And he got back to me. We had a little conversation, and that was fine. And I said, "Can I buy some?" And he said, "Yeah." So I'm going to buy one or some. Last night I was looking at his site.
Right.
You
realise you can't afford him.
Yeah.
It's $3,000 a pop.
They're not cheap, but they are good.
Okay.
So I was reading this last night, and I'm just suddenly, when you were reading those names out, and this is my big spooky coincidence, I'm just going to flick through what I was reading last night, and how many of these. So dear listener, I'm showing a picture on my phone of what I was reading last night, and each one is a different philosopher painted with the name above. So
Nietzsche.
But anyway,
I think you'll find it's Nietzsche.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second one,
Kant.
who you just mentioned.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was Kant.
No, I didn't mention Kant.
Okay, listeners, I'm not one to pick a fight. I'm not one to judge. Go back, look at your notes, apologise, and we'll move on.
Yeah, I did. I said by Kant and Schopenhauer.
Yeah.
All right.
Next one, I think you said him as well, or not?
Heidegger. I didn't. And I'm checking my notes, and I didn't.
Did you see
That's
this guy?
okay. Louis Bernal? No.
I don't think Jim Jones is a philosopher. I think
He just looks like a 50s crooner.
He looks like Roy Orbison.
He does, yeah.
Yeah. Did you mention that guy?
Schopenhauer, I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I've mentioned him 3 times now, thanks to you.
Yeah.
You were looking at this last night.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? And you started talking about stuff this morning, the beginning of this pod. It's going to go in the next one.
And some of those people on there, I didn't...
Why are we so in tune with each other?
I didn't
Yet so far apart.
Yeah. I didn't even hear of some of those until you literally mentioned them there.
Yeah, okay.
And something in my neural pathways went, you have heard of this person before, and it was from an American artist.
Right.
I just wanted to bring that up because I think that's...
Because we can be silly, can't we? And like sophomoric humour.
Not soporific. That's
No,
ours.
yeah. Is that which is juvenile and puerile? I mean, you're up for a bit of that, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Why not? Oh, we have so many things we have a laugh about. It's proper silliness.
I don't think it's juvenile and puerile.
We think it's hardly highbrow, some of the stuff we
it isn't
talk about.
highbrow.
It's a type of comedy that often includes toilet humour and gags that are based on an appeal to silly sense of immaturity.
No, that's not me at all.
The word sophomoric, an adjective dating from 1813, is used to refer and describe something or someone that is conceited, overconfident, poorly informed and immature, as characterised by a stereotypical sophomore.
No, I don't think I think I like word play in humour.
Right.
I mean, a classic
You laugh
one.
at my silly sayings, don't you? Silly ideas.
Well, I think the prime example of wordplay would be one of your favourites, wouldn't it? Be the 2 Ronnies with 4 candles.
Oh, yeah.
That's just clever.
Yeah.
The script for that was sold for 28,000.
It's silly though, isn't it? There's a silliness about it.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think what I do find funny. Maybe I should have given this a bit more thought.
This literally was your idea. You turn up.
I was trying to make it a yin and yang to the last one. I thought this would be. I thought a clown costume.
That's
might
why
have
I've worked
been
hard
enough.
at understanding humour and the kind of the intellectual nature.
So
of such
I then
things.
bring in the lols to back up your. Shall I see if I
plenty
can
of time
find
to
some
turn this
spontaneous humour? I entered a poetry competition when I was 12, and I wrote a really good poem. Although looking back at it, I wrote a poem last night actually, but I'm not going to read that out either.
You literally tell us you have poems you're never going to read out. Why do you even tell us? What's the point?
Don't you think life is different at like 2 a.m? The whole world is different.
Yeah, I do.
Like so different.
So you just thought you were Keats or something, did you, at 3 o'clock this morning? And have you read it this morning? Have you read it since? Why don't you just do it? Open it up and just let rip. Come on, this could be brilliant.
No,
just do it. I won't put it in, I promise.
Not a lot of lols.
I like it though. It's good.
I did send it to one person last night. I think he appreciated it at 3 a.m. because he answered. Yeah, that's what I wanted.
He was lying awake going, if only I
could. If only I had a dismal poem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I even read that to you on a LOL special. So
I like it.
Okay, good. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, I do. Very good.
We're about to be funny. We're about to be funny on that.
We're not funny at all in this episode.
No.
Have we actually laughed at all?
We've laughed a fair bit, actually.
It's not
so here we go. Here we go. The poem. So I wrote a poem. I think it was the one that I later had published. The one they renamed The Death of Lady Macbeth.
We still haven't. The one
I
you
can't
keep teasing
find it.
for 46 episodes.
I haven't really kept it. So that particular poem came second in the competition.
Right.
And the winner.
You were gutted.
No, it's taking part that's important. And the one that won, I've remembered to this day.
Have you?
The whole poem, partly because it's only about 6 words, and secondly because I thought this was sheer brilliance.
Okay, go. Title
of the poem is Pollution.
Uh-huh.
I do have to give one caveat. This is based on a well-known, and I can't even remember who by, but a well-known classical poem, this particular line. So it's entitled Pollution. Mm-hmm. I shot an arrow in the sky. It stuck. I thought that's brilliant.
That's right.
I think that I shot an arrow in the sky is from someone.
Henry Wadsworth?
Oh, maybe it isn't. Maybe it's just
I shot an arrow in the air. It fell to earth.
Oh, yeah. I know not where. But doesn't all have to be about laughs.
Thank God.
I don't think most of our listeners come here for the laughs.
No.
They come for...
what do they come for?
Sympathy?
I'm a little bit... Is listening to us like watching EastEnders? We go, at least my life isn't as shit as theirs.
Yeah.
Do you know, maybe that could
They've got all that white male privilege, and look at the fuck up they've made.
They couldn't even get that right.
Yeah.
Goalie's knackered on the 18-yard box. The ball is on the goal line.
Yeah.
And we still stick it out for a fucking goal kick, right? Yeah. We just can't get it together. It's not that bad. It's all right. Well, I'm feeling a little bit shoulders back, Foffbach. Feeling a little bit low. Right, let's get out of this funk.
Okay.
Brain food. Do you want to hear some science about laughter from the Brain, a journal of neurology?
Yeah.
Thought you did.
Wonder who they all sat in, didn't they? We're going to do a journal. You can see them all. Tweed jackets, leather patches.
Oh, yeah. What should we call it? Well, we all know about the brain. We're full of all brain surgeons, and what should we call it?
I don't know. We're bringing some marketing guys.
No.
You remember when BP changed their logo from BP to BP, and BT did it?
What? They didn't change it from BT to BT. They just
it's British Telecom, then it was BT, and then they changed. Yeah. The letters. You've got 2 letters to work with.
Yeah. Right.
Move on. Okay, so they called it the Brain.
The expression of laughter keep up with this one. The expression of laughter seems to depend on 2 partially independent neuronal pathways. The first of these is an involuntary or emotional-driven system. Involves we've done this before. Amygdala, thalamic, hypo, and subthalamic areas, and dorsal tegmental brainstem. The second, voluntary system, originates in the premortal frontal or percular areas and leads through the motor cortex and pyramidal tract to the ventricle brainstem.
I'm just off for oh, sorry. I was just waiting for you to get to the punchline. Yeah, no, that's a good one.
These systems and the laughter response appear to be coordinated by a laughter coordinating centre in the dorsal upper pons. Analysis of the cerebral correlate of humour have been impeded by a lack of consensus among psychologists on exactly what humour is and of what essential components it consists. So all that science is by the by because nobody can actually determine what funny is or humour is.
Yeah.
I thought you'd like that. I mean, that just rolled off the tongue, didn't it?
Yeah, I think that's going to bring in a few more listeners. Have you ever had anyone ever in their life describe themselves as not having a sense of humour? Because there patently are people.
Would you?
I'm hilarious. I'm the funniest person I know.
Well, that's different to having a sense of humour. Being funny, being hilarious is different to having a sense of humour,
okay.
Right?
So what sense of humour is recognising other people's humour?
Well, a sense of humour is having an understanding of what humour is. You can be funny without having a clue why, couldn't you? You could just be a funny person, naturally funny, but don't have a sense of humour. So you could try and be funny back and I don't.
I think a sense of humour to me is an understanding of humour. Are we saying the same thing?
Probably. But no, you're right. I mean, people put that in,
CVs back in the day, wasn't it?
GSOH in it, and all the Lonely Hearts ads. Great sense of humour.
Yeah, I know what it means.
All right.
But
you're spiky today. Don't like it.
You won't get many on Tinder going, to be honest. My sense of humour is sorely lacking.
I don't find
but I love
any
cats.
joy in any. Yeah. Cat having a shit in a litter tray. I find that funny. But anything
That's
else.
about it.
Yeah. Laugh and the world laughs with you, the adage goes. And while laughter and the happiness it brings can actually be contagious, thanks in part to mirror neurons that fire when we observe other people doing a certain action, humour brings with it a variety of surprising benefits, even when we enjoy it alone.
Yes. And there is a groundswell of opinion at the moment that even forced laughter creates neural pathways. And one of the things I'm doing on the course is which I chucked in at the end of in the middle of the scan the other day, was the half smile.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
You can actually kid your brain that you're smiling without smiling. It thinks you're smiling.
As researchers have started to look more closely at humour and its effects, they discovered that genuine laughter or mirth lights up multiple areas of the brain. As a joke unfolds, the frontal lobe jumps into action to process the information. It serves as a gatekeeper of sorts and determines if we're going to get the joke or not.
That's the sense of humour. Getting jokes, understanding. Yeah.
If the frontal lobe finds something potentially funny, it lets the effects of that humour proceed and sends out an electrical wave through the cerebral cortex. From there, the rest of our body responds with surprise, delight and laughter. The results can be anything from a mild chuckle to an all-out belly laugh. And the chuckle does more for you than you might realise, according to research by Carl Marchi, PhD, Assistant Professor of Psychiatry at Harvard Medical School. Now, they know their onions, don't they? People at Harvard. and the director of social neuroscience in the psychotherapy research program at Massachusetts General Hospital. Laughter and humour are, among other things, powerful agents in combating mood disorders. Laughter can trigger the brain's emotional reward centre, delivering a heaping dose of feel-good dopamine and mood-lifting serotonin. It can even increase the release of endorphins, the pain-relieving chemicals in our brain, releases in response to such things as exercise, food, and sex. This is what you said earlier. Humour definitely has positive effects on us psychologically, says Alex Borgella, a PhD candidate in psychology at Tufts University. Doesn't sound like a real one.
No.
Tufts, whose research is centred on why and when we use humour. Laughter is one of the very first vocalisations made by babies as early as 2 months. From there, we learn what to laugh at based on our experiences, attitudes, and friendships. Alex says that studies on humour and mental health show a correlation between higher sense of humour scores and attributes such as greater self-esteem, better coping skills during stressful times, and a better image of self and our place in the world. People with more developed sense of humour may be better equipped for dealing with difficult and life-threatening situations.
Wrong.
You need to find bums funny, then you'll be all over it. We got an email.
Good.
From our resident army captain. Morning, guys. Captain here. Meant to say last week after your face scan, Mark, it sounded really professional.
Oh.
Your voice was calming and in a slightly rough fag smoking sort of way. Or as Damo would say, sounded a bit dirty, but not in a pervy way. I did an 8-week mindfulness course about 4 years ago, and you've inspired me to go back and reread some of my notes.
Oh, right.
That's cool, right?
Yeah, no, that's nice.
I've attached a few of the teachings for your perusal.
Okay.
Which I'll...
Could have been the same course I did, I wonder.
Love the piece on plane armouring. We had the same problem for helicopters in Northern Ireland. I think he was a bit keen on a chopper.
Yeah.
A couple of lines from a book by Rob Law, who invented Trunky. Are you familiar with Trunky?
Yes. Yeah, the sit-on luggages.
For kids,
luggage, yeah.
He's local as well. He's Bristol, I think.
Okay.
So this is a quote from him. The future will not bend to our will. Failure is inevitable and universal, as we forget this at our peril. Success is talent plus luck. Great success is talent plus lots of luck.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting, but I don't believe in luck. Maybe that's one for another episode. No, I don't.
Do you believe in fate?
To some degree. I don't. I think they're different things. I believe in I believe in good fortune, but I don't believe in luck. I hope you enjoy the readings. Oops, must go and stretch the sourdough. I mean, he's so middle class. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. How is your kefir as well, Damien?
Oh, my kefir. It's delicious, thank you.
You must be making banana bread as well.
No, I'm not. No.
Actually, I've just literally, bake. As I've sat there to try and find any mailbox, just had a text literally the last few minutes from somebody, the last one.
Why don't you read it out? That's feedback. That's podcast feedback. That's exactly.
I'm not sure I want to hear about Damien's poo. So that's someone in my...
She's not sure. I mean, she can be convinced, right?
No, I don't think so.
She didn't say,
I think do not... The lady's not for turning.
She said...
Turning.
No, they're that's a challenge for me. She said, I'm not sure. She didn't say, I do not want to hear about Damien's poo, did she?
No.
She's just...
The intonation was there, though.
If anything, I want to hear a little bit more.
You've got to have some radical acceptance. She doesn't want to hear it.
And then maybe she'll make her mind up after she's heard about it. I haven't even told you about Rosie.
I haven't got in deep.
The big Samoan nurse yet, have I?
No.
Okay. Soft fingers, that's all I'll say. That's it, Mike, unless you've got anything else for this episode.
Nothing, not a jot.
That's it for this episode. Well done for getting this far, and thanks for listening. If you're enjoying this pod and feel you get something out of it, then please do subscribe to us. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and tell a friend or two. Give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter at I'mFinecast, and you can send us an email to imfinecast@gmail.com, as we'd love to hear your feedback and ideas. In the next episode, we're calling it Judgment Day. How much judgment have you got in that bag of yours over there?
Well,
have you bought a big carrier bag full of judgment?
You've got concerns on my judgment.
No.
No. Sorry, I've expressed that incorrectly. You used an expression several months ago to me about Mark 1 and Mark 2. Can you remember?
Yeah, okay.
And it was almost sort of, when's Mark 1 coming back? Because I'd
might have said something.
Yeah, I'd gone all zen and soft. And then last week I came in and just...
No, yeah, because I think, and we might cover this in the next episode, about, I think judgment's all right.
Yeah.
I think it's all right. I think it's healthy. And I joked last episode that you kind of came in and let a few things off your chest.
Yeah.
That was all judgment, wasn't it? That's okay. If we can't do that, what is there left? I don't think it's something you should try and or feel bad that you have. The Mark 1 and Mark 2 is good. I don't mean it like that, because I think I wouldn't like to be referred to as Mark, a Mark 1 and Mark 2, because we're all just kind of work in progress, aren't we?
No.
But,
I wasn't picking on that at all. I was picking on a positive of what you said, is that there was attributes I had lost.
Yeah, I think you're obviously working very hard to maybe manage your judgment in a more positive way for you. And that is important for you. Almost to the point of, I don't want to express an opinion here because I believe it's judgment, and that could be negative. I'm going, gives an
Express
opinion.
away.
Because it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be human if our judgment wasn't misplaced every once in a while. But if you've got the understanding that, that actually was misplaced, I'll take it back, or I won't put it in the pod, or I'll apologise, then that's good, right? So if you just went around going, I'm not being judgmental, and you were accidentally, and you just didn't think you were, then you just become an arsehole, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the humility's gone. So I think
you become vanilla.
Yeah. And then the balance of that, I think, is really good.
Okay.
And I think when you come in and go, you had an energy about you. It's almost like you've just been built, you've been saving it, or you've been diverting it, but hadn't been going anywhere. It's just been going into a
tsunami of cynicism.
Yeah, but that's good, right? You have to have that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, so Judgment Day. Look forward to that.
Okay, cool. All right.
Okay.
See you next episode.
Cheers, folks. Bye.